Let's dig into second homes. Hi, my name is Lisa Ammons. Welcome and thank you for visiting my channel. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell if you want to be notified when I upload new videos. I cover things like real estate here in Florida, points of interest, and what it's like to live here in South Florida. Buying a second home is a dream for many Americans. It's also a big decision. And before you make any major money decisions, there's a few things that you should consider. Imagine this scenario. You work hard at your job, year after year. You put money aside to provide for your family and your retirement. Year after year of responsible behavior and financial planning, all of a sudden, you decide you want to buy a vacation home. You know, one of those homes nestled up on a white sandy beach, or maybe in a mountaintop. You know, it's always someplace kind of sexy. And that's what you're thinking about. Sounds good, doesn't it? But there are a few things you need to think about. So let's talk about what a second home is. It's a residence that you plan on using in addition to your primary residence. So most of the time it's considered like a vacation home. To qualify as a second home, particularly if you are considering a mortgage, the property needs to be at least 50 miles from your primary residence. A second home is different than an investment property. An investment property would be something that you would rent out. And in that case, it could be 5 miles from your house. So the first thing you need to do is to run down the numbers to see if a second home is financially feasible for you. And you may be considering a mortgage if you're not paying cash. If utilizing the mortgage is something you plan on doing, you need to understand that a mortgage on a second home is different than a primary residence. Mortgage lenders treat second homes a little differently. There is a little bit of a higher rate of interest. Typically down payment is a little more aggressive, on average 20%. And you need to obviously be able to prove that you can afford both your primary residence and the secondary residence. There is one exception to the rule about the rental thing on a second home. You could rent it out for up to 14 days and it would still be considered a second home. Once you go over that 14 days, however, it's now an investment property. Here in Florida, we have a lot of people that have second homes, and they certainly enjoy the warm weather and the tax benefits. I highly recommend that you talk to your financial advisor before making such a large purchase. In addition to planning for your retirement, if you want to have a secondary home, it's best to start putting that money aside early. There's some good news. The interest and property taxes on a second home are tax deductible. You are going to be limited to $10,000 on your property taxes. And keep in mind that maximum mortgage interest is $750,000. So if you have a mortgage outstanding on your primary, you'll have to take that into consideration. Are you considering a second home? Is it something you're kicking around in the back of your mind? If so, put a comment below. I'd like to know how many of you are actually planning on a second home purchase outside of the state where you live. Beachfront condo? Single family residence? I'd have to say a good 35% of my business here in the state of Florida are people buying a second or retirement home here in Florida. Are you interested in looking at condominiums or homes here in Florida? In the description box below, I will put a link to my website. Of course, you can search for properties there. You can always reach out to me if you have questions about carrying costs for a second home, expenses with homeowners association or condominium associations, what type of services are included in those type of fees, and I'm more than happy to discuss that with you. I'm Lisa Ammons. I'm a realtor here in Florida. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe to find out more information about what it's like to live here in the Treasure Coast. I mean, come on, it's great.
If this video was helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in a retirement or vacation property, you might want to check out these videos.